Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So in this video I will be explaining you the concept of callable, future and future task. So first of all we need to understand why do we need a callable. Suppose you have a thread and that thread wants to calculate something, that is 100 plus 200. Can runnable return a value? Because runnable has run method and the return type of run method is void, and the runnable will not return a value. And if a thread wants to return a value, then you need to use something called as callable, because callable can return a value. So that is why we will use callable in order to return something. So now understand what is callable. You can see it here. So callable is an interface similar to runnable, but it will return a value and it can throw checked exceptions. So I think it's very simple to understand. So it is also a interface like runnable, and but the thing is it will return a value. Callable has call method and it will return a value and it can throw checked exceptions. You can see I have a code snippet, callable of task, and I'm using lambda expressions and I am returning the 100. So the thing is, unlike runnable has run method, uh, and callable as call method. So that is the difference. Now let's talk about the difference between runnable and callable. Runnable, as I told you, runnable as run method and callable as call method. Runnable, the return type is void because it does not return any value, whereas the callable, the return, like it returns a value, it has a return type. And runnable cannot throw checked exceptions, whereas callable can throw checked exceptions. And runnable can be used for simple tasks, whereas callable is used when a result is required, like when a thread wants to return something, then we will go for callable. And there is another concept called as future. So we will see what is future object. Yeah, this is the one. So basically what is future is, when you submit a callable, that means when you submit a task using callable, you won't get the results immediately. So what Java will do means it returns a future object. Future means, what is future? Like our upcoming days we call it as future, right? That means think of future as a promise that the result will be available later. That means the result will not be available immediately, it will be available in the future. There is a code snippet. You can see executor service executor. I am creating the new single thread executor which will create a single thread, and I am calling executor dot submit method. So whenever you call execute method, it won't return a future object. Whenever you call whenever you call execute method, it won't return any value. But whenever you call executor dot submit method, it will return a value, that is the future object. You can see it here. I think I have a code snippet. Let me show you. Yeah, here for you can see this line. Whenever I call executor dot submit method, it will return a future object, that is future of integer. You got it. Now you can see the code snippet. It return the future object, and I want to get the result from that future object. How do we get the result from that future object? Is by with the help of get method. Excuse me. So getting the result, you can see it here. Getting the result, you can use the future.get method, and in the previous example we are returning 100, right? So I am getting the output as 100. So this get method, because the result will not be available immediately, right? So this get method will wait until the results become available. So that is one important point you need to keep in mind. So, and also that is one of the disadvantages of future object. You can see, let me comment this code and let me try to run this. I am submitting a method and it is returning a future object, and with the help of future.get I am getting that result. So when I run this code, I used to get 100 as the output. So you are seeing I am getting this 100 as the output. Let's go to some other method. Yeah, there is another method called as isDone. So what is the use of isDone means, as the name itself suggests, instead of waiting the immediately, you can call this method future.isDone. Future.isDone, it will check whether the task is completed or not. And you can see it here. I'm using this future.isDone method, and it will return a boolean value. That means it will return true or false. If it returns true, that means the task is completed. If it returns false, then the task is not completed. So I am running this code. So you can see the output here. So you are getting 100 because I'm using future.get, and you can see isDone method is returning true. That means the task is completed. So that is the use of isDone method. And now we will check some other method of future. So canceling a task. So there is a method called as future.cancel method. So and if you pass true for this cancel, then it will attempt to cancel the task, and the running thread is interrupted. Why? Because the task is running and you call the cancel method. That means the task is getting interrupted, right? That is what we are saying, the running thread is interrupted. You can directly use your, instead of isDone, you can use cancel. You can see it is accepting a boolean, and you can pass true. That is a boolean value. So that is one method. And another method we have is cancelled. So let me try it. Is cancelled. You can see the is cancelled method is there, and this is cancelled method will return a boolean. That means it will return true or false. If the task is cancelled, it will return true. If the task is not cancelled, it will return false. So we have understood about the future methods. Now I have made a tabular column, so let's see one by one. So we have a get method. So get method will return the result, and isDone method will check whether the task is completed or not. Cancel method, it will try to cancel the task by interrupting the thread. Then we have is cancelled method. So it will check whether the task was cancelled or not, and it will return boolean is cancelled method. Okay, next we will understand a concept called as future task. So with the help of this name only, we will understand future task. So this future task is a class that combines both callable and future. So it will try to combine both these operations. For example, we have a callable call method, and I am returning 50 from the call, this one from the task, and I am creating a future task. Future task is equal to new future task, and I am passing this task over here, and I want to run this task on a separate thread. So I will be creating new thread. Excuse me. I will be creating a new thread, passing this future task, and then I am calling start method, because start method is responsible to create a new thread. And once the task execution is completed, I will be calling future.get method in order to retrieve the results from the future object. So I am getting 50 as the output. So yeah, I am sure demonstrating the same thing. You can see callable of task, I am returning this will be returning 50, and I am passing this task to the future task object, and I am creating a new thread in order to run this task. And when I try to print this, so I will be getting 50 as the output. Let's run this code. Yeah, you can see you are getting 50 as the output. But the thing is, this future task is less frequently used in real-time applications. In real modern applications, we will be using executor service with callable and future. We will not be using this future task. So that is one of the thing you need to keep in mind. So now I'll give you one real world example to understand this concept better. Suppose you assume there is an e-commerce application. Whenever a customer selects any product, the application needs to calculate the discount, calculate the task, and calculate the shipping. So what happens is all these tasks will be running in a separate thread. So what happens, the main thread will be there. Whenever user selects any product, the main thread will be responsible to call this executor service. Executor service is an interface which has the pool of threads. So it has many threads, and threads will take up the task, and it will do the action, right? This executor service as threads that is responsible to execute this discount, calculating tax, and calculating the shipping. and it will return the future results, and finally you will be getting the final price. Now the main thread will be responsible to collect the result in each step using Future.get. So main thread will not be alone doing everything on its own. So main thread will just call executor service, and executor service, it has multiple threads, reusable threads. It will perform the task and it will return the final price. So this is one of the real-time example where we are using these concepts. Now we will try to understand what are the limitations of future object. So we have seen this future object, right? That is submit method will return you the future object. Submit method, here it is, it will return you the future object. And what is the limitations of this when you are calling this future.get method, this get method, it will block until the result is available. That means until this task execution is completed and the result should be generated, until that this get method will block the execution. So that is one thing, and it is very difficult to combine multiple asynchronous tasks, and also it's no, it's not easy to chain the operations. So these are all the limitations of a future object, and in order to overcome these limitations, Java introduced one more concept called as completable future. So in the next video we will be discussing more about the completable future that is mainly used for asynchronous tasks. So I think we have completed all the concepts related to the future and callable. If you have any doubts, please feel to write it in the comment section. I'll be very happy to answer that. And thank you so much for watching.